Hello and welcome to our public informational meeting of the Waco MPO. We have this meeting scheduled for both noon and 5:30 p.m. on Monday, January 8th. And we're here to discuss some of the amendments that we intend to make to some of our planning documents as well as our transportation improvement programs. Next slide, please. Here in this room with us is Arthur, Nora, Annette, and I'm Mukesh from Waco MPO, and we are in the process of the public engagement process as required by federal law, as well as we very much appreciate and would like public input into these amendments that we are proposing. Next slide. In case we have a technical difficulty and you can't see these slides, this QR code will bring up all the related documents as well as this presentation on your phone or any mobile device or your computer, and you can watch or read through all the documents that we have related to these amendments. So today we are going to talk about who we are as Waco MPO. We're also going to review the proposed plan and program amendments, and we'll discuss all the opportunities that we have for making public comments, as well as sending us any questions that we'd like to respond to, as well as asking any questions, and we will provide the answers to the best of our abilities. So who we are the Metropolitan Planning Organization for Waco area, and we provide the local input into all the transportation related decisions which require federal funding. But primarily, we are a planning entity that prioritizes regionally significant projects and also assigns some realistic funding strategies. That way, these are plans that actually have some realistic possibility of being implemented. We also decide on how the federal highway and transit funds are going to be used in the Waco region, and we help the local governments and the TxDOT in identifying what the regional priorities exist, and that way we can account for all the regional priorities into the planning process. And lastly, but most importantly, in fact, all of our documents guide what the future transportation network in the Metropolitan County area is going to look like and how is this going to function for all different users. So our area is same as the Metropolitan County, and all MPOs are required for any area that has more than 50,000 population in it. Our Waco MPO is governed by a 20-member policy board and a 19-member technical advisory committee, in addition to 4 different work groups. And the most importantly, the policy board as well as TAC, and we, as members of the staff, we support the policy board and the TAC and the work groups in coordination and consensus building to plan and fund the transportation projects in the area. So the transportation planning process, not only as mandated, but typically a very broad overview of what we end up doing. It follows this process of strategic planning process, and then we come up with strategies which results in our long-range plan development, what we call the Metropolitan Transportation Plan, and that involves the project selection criteria and recommendations, prioritization of different projects. And once these projects get to the stage of design and engineering that they're ready to be implemented and there is realistic funding associated with it, we begin drafting our transportation improvement program, which typically get drafted every 2 years. It's a 4-year program. And in this program, we also make adjustment from time to time, some of which we will discuss today. And finally, all of this gets reported into our performance management, in which we take some of the targets, performance targets, which serve as the feedback loop back into the strategic planning process. And that's how, on a circular basis, we develop these long-range transportation plans every 5 years, the TIP for a 4-year time frame, but every 2 years, and each year we adopt some performance targets. So first document we want to talk about is our public participation plan. So our public participation plan is a federally mandated required document, and this public participation plan details all the effort that we are going to make and outlines the process by which we will be seeking all the community inputs as well as interested parties' involvement in the development of all of our documents, plans, programs, and decision making. So in the current public participation plan, the reason why we need to do this amendment is because there are some clarifications needed for the public hearing process, as well as we would like to introduce a new method of making decisions using administrative modifications and how to implement them. So the first amendment is in section 4.1, in which the meeting formats are outlined. And currently there has been a small change for the time of the policy board as well as for the technical advisory committee. Earlier it used to be at 2 p.m. Now it will be at 1:30 p.m. on the same dates. The policy board meets every third Thursday of the month. TAC meets every first Thursday of the month, and both of the groups will meet at 1:30 p.m. And our public participation plan needs to reflect that new time. The CAB work group has become quite active, and so we also want to make sure that the CAB work group meeting details are also listed in our public participation plan. Section 4.3 clarifies the public hearing opportunities during the policy board meeting. And this is something which we already implement, but in this particular, we wanted to make sure that what we are already implementing is well reflected and accurately reflected in our public participation plan. Section 6 discusses the procedure that we will follow in order to conduct administrative modifications to our current plans or programs and provide guidance on how we would be implementing them. Section 6.1 clarifies what days mean and makes the distinction between calendar days and working days for public comment period requirements. So for this one, the solicitation of comments began on December 26, 2023, and this will continue until February 9th, 2024. You can also comment online at the link provided here in this information, as well as on the meeting information page. We are conducting public informational meeting, which will be available in person as well as virtually for 2 times, 12 at noon and 5:30 p.m. on January 8th. We meet at 401 Franklin Avenue, Waco, in the first floor conference main room, where we are recording this presentation. And the Technical Advisory Committee will make its recommendation to the Policy Board on February 1. And after conducting a public hearing, Policy Board will act to either adopt these amendments to the public participation plan or modify them on February 15th of this year, 2024. The next item we're going to discuss is the amendment to our Metropolitan Transportation Plan. MTP is the region's priorities in how to invest the transportation fund for the future and it works with a 25-year time frame. The amendment that we are reflecting are 2. First one reflects the refinement of the cost estimates for US 84 project that is being developed at the moment. And earlier estimate was 214.3 million, which has decreased to 205.3 million. And similarly, the total project cost to reflect that change in the construction cost is down from 223.3 million to 214.3 million. It also reflects the allocation of federal funding for 5339 formula program. And what we are doing is we are programming the FY 2021 and 2022 funds into the FY 2023 funds, as will be consistent with the TIP amendment that we will be discussing shortly. And so the 5-year allocation is what we discuss in this amendment for our MTP for the fiscal years 2020 to 2025. The solicitation of comments will begin on January 8th, and it will continue till January 17th. And anyone can submit comments online at the link provided in this presentation, as well as on our website. And the meetings are at 12 noon and 5:30 p.m. on January 8th in person, as well as virtually at this location at 401 Franklin Avenue, what we also call the Development Center. For this, the Technical Advisory Committee will make the recommendation on January 4th, which is today, when we are recording this presentation, and the public hearing and the Policy Board action will occur on January 18th, 2024 for this proposed amendment to the MTP. Next, we will talk about the amendments we intend to make for the 2023-2026 Transportation Improvement Program, the TIP. Purpose of TIP is to ensure that the funding that we have identified for federal highways or public transportation are accurately reflected into this short-range program. And the amendment that we are going to be talking about at this time are several. One is that we are programming the transportation alternative projects that have been awarded by Texas Transportation Commission. 3 of the cities, Mart, Waco, and Woodway, received funding for bicycle and pedestrian projects. We're also going to be programming City of Waco's contribution to I-35 4C for project enhancements in the amount of $1.9 million. We're also making some revisions to Category 2 formula allocation for FY 2024 so that all the Category 2 funds are fully allocated for the next, as in preparation for the next UTP. And finally, we are also programming 5339 formula allocation funds for transit vehicle purchases for Waco Transit. The TxDOT projects for transportation alternative. The projects are that in City of Mart, there's a school and neighborhood connector project, which improves connections among the downtown area of Mart, adjacent neighborhood schools, and the community center. And this has a cost estimate of approximately $1.347 million. And it goes from South Carpenter Street from State Highway 164 to East Bowie Street, and East Bowie Street from South Carpenter Street to South Lumpkin Street. This is a carbon neighborhood project in City of Waco, and this is a bike ped improvement. It improves the bike and ped access and circulation within the downtown Waco and connects to the previous market. Can you remind me of the project? MKT Trail. Thank you. Connects the previous MKT Trail project to the current project and provides better access to the riverfront as well. And it is along Dallas Street between Elm Avenue and Ashburn. And the preliminary cost estimate for this project is $4.385 million. Third project is the Woodway Elementary Safety Improvement Project, and it improves pedestrian traffic and eases vehicular use near Woodway Elementary School. This is along Midway Drive from Harvey to Estates, as well as Estates Drive from Midway to Jordan Lane. And preliminary cost estimate for this project is $1.048 million. For public transit grant, we are programming the 5339 formula allocation to replace, rehab, and purchase vehicles, as well as related equipment. And these funds are also used for constructing and modifying bus-related facilities. So in our program, we are programming the capital purchase during the 4-year timeframe of FY23 to FY26. And FY21 and 22 allocations are being carried over into the FY 2023 to accommodate the TIP timeframe. FY 2024 allocations have not been made yet. Once they're made, it will be reflected in the new TIP that will be developed later this year. Next slide. So the comment period is from January 8th to January 17th. And again, the comments can be made online on our website. The informational meetings are going to be at 12 noon and 5:30 p.m. on January 8th, 2024. In person, we'll meet at the Development Center, and the address is 401 Franklin Avenue in Waco. And to join virtually, you can use the link provided here, as well as on our website. The Technical Advisory Committee will review and recommend to the Policy Board on it during its February 1st meeting. And after a public hearing, the Policy Board will take action on February 15th, whether to amend the TIP or modify the amendment. So at this point in time, we are very interested in your questions, comments, or any additional ideas that you might have. You can call us at by phone on 254-750-5650. You can email any of your questions to mpo@wacotx.gov. You can also make your comments available to us via Facebook or LinkedIn accounts. We can accept your comments in any language, and the comment cards are also accessible on the MPO website in the Get Involved section if you would like to use the comment card. Here are our information again. Our website is available, which contains all the related information. The phone number again is 254-750-5650, and our email address is mpo@wacotx.gov. Thank you.